Yeah, it was very much inspired by her grandmother, and like we found out later, her father is actually a pretty famous screenwriter, but she developed this on her own and went through the Sundance lab with it, where she got to workshop it over and over again. And then, of course, once we get it, or any director gets any script, they go through a process too to make it their own, because they have to really believe in the script and have to they always get the opportunity to kind of mold it a bit, and so then we had to actually even another writer come in and do a little bit, especially the Jessica Hecht, the daughter's part, because our screenwriter was in her early 20s. Scarlett really wanted to dive in deeper on that character, and so we wanted to bring in somebody who had a little more life experience to kind of touch on that character a little bit.
Jonathan, Leah,
Yeah, Leah.
Leah.
Yeah, yeah.
Whose idea was it? The movie was incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Whose idea was it to put the 30,000 pounds of banana Harry Chapin song in there in the kitchen?
It was
That surprised me. That was pretty amazing.
yeah. There were a couple that actually happened on set, and it was a
Oh,
spur
okay.
of the moment decision. And Scarlett and June, were just humming different songs, and that was one of them. And so we just went with it, and then you'd think it was public domain, but we've still had to pay quite a bit of money for it.
And you said you produced "Fly Me to the Moon" with.
Yes.
Was there any talk of bringing Senator Cook in here for a cameo or
Uh,
a small role in the film?
there wasn't, and I think even Scarlett,
She
there
didn't
was
push for
just
that.
she wasn't. She had no interest. She was so happy to not go through hair and makeup in the morning,
Uh,
and just show up and be part of the crew.
but
And
that would have been cool having Colin in there for
yeah,
a cameo.
for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be in some upcoming projects. Yes, sir.
June Squibb is so amazing.
Yep.
Was she a shoe-in? Did she become
Can you
part
repeat the
of
questions?
the main? I'll let you repeat it. But
Yeah.
did she become part of the movie once she became involved? Was that early?
So the question was June kind of a shoe in for the part? June was actually attached to this before we were, and that was even part of the appeal for Scarlett, because she was just thinking, what on earth would June Squibb want to attach to at this phase in her life? She said, I have to read this, and so yeah, June was attached before us, and it was just such a great honor to work with her, and her stamina is just incredible. So now she's 95. She was 94 when we filmed it. She's on all these short lists for the Oscar for this performance, and there's this window that's the where you kind of go out and campaign for your Oscar. Not June. She's on Broadway doing 6 shows a week at
Wow.
95 years old. She just signed a 5-year TV contract, and which she thinks is hysterical, but and but yeah, there was this one moment that was really sweet. It was our very first day of filming, and it was at Coney Island, and Erin Kellyman, who we just think is so fantastic in the movie, who plays Nina, the friend. Um, she'd never been to the United States before, ever. She has a very thick British accent.
Wow.
And that very first day, I was standing with June, and Erin came over, and June said, Erin, how are you? And she said, well, honestly, I'm a little nervous. And June just turned to her and said, why? It just didn't compute for June that you could possibly be nervous in at this stage of her career. So it was really cute, and those two became actually quite good friends in real life, and would go hang out on the weekends, and it was
So that character that June played as Eleanor, that seemed to be like her real life presence. I mean, she seemed.
I think there's a lot of her in it,
Yeah, I
but
noticed it. Yeah.
but it still is a character for sure. But Scarlett was so impressed with just how every scene she felt June gave her a perfect take, and was just not only did she know her lines, inside and out. She knew everybody else's. So there were moments where somebody else would forget their line. She would know it faster than the script supervisor.
You mentioned Tori's dad. His name is Frank, and he was responsible for the Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's right.
So what about June as in Karate Kid 7? You could be. That would be a great movie. For you. Keep it going.
Be attached, to be honest. Yeah.
She could play like Mrs. Miyagi or something.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
I'm just wondering, and I may be making a lot out of it, but the idea behind the lie and the consequences.
Yeah.
She talks about with the rabbi, and how much of that was kind of fleshed out with the characters. First of all, her telling the lie and coming to terms with being all right with that, and you know, the young lady Nina coming to terms with the fact that such a big lie was told, and the mistrust, and how to get over that, and then the survivors in coming to terms with somebody doing that. But on the flip side, at least somebody told this person's story that would not have been told,
Yeah.
unless somebody lied about who they were.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's always been part of the challenge with the script and with the project. And I think there are some critics that cannot get past that, and they just never will. I think part of the appeal for us to this character of Eleanor and this story is that she's messy, and to us that felt really real. You know, you love her at times. There's other things that feel unforgivable, but you know, at the end of the day, she's just stumbling her way through life like kind of everybody else is. And I think especially for Scarlett, who, you know, one of her real superpowers, especially at the office and stuff, where we're getting these scripts and we read them, and 5 people will read them, and we'll all have our ideas, and she'll read it first of all faster than any of us, which is totally embarrassing. But then she'll have this insight, which is just from this actor's perspective of, you know, having made 50 movies at this point, and the way she sees these things is really interesting to us. And so it wasn't surprising that she really loved this character, because it is such a complex character, and it's not two-dimensional, and you can't explain everything. Like, you know, even June at the end, like when she's saying like, well, I'm telling this because she can't, like, yeah, okay, but is that it? Like, is that the whole thing? Like, probably not, you know. And even at the end when she says, you know, this is the granddaughter that I've been telling you about, it's like, you know, she's never gonna change. Like, this is who she is.
Right.
She's 94 years old, and she's a mess, like everybody. So I think a lot of it was on the page, but then it, you know, when I see it on screen, the impression that I get of it is very different than what I got when I was reading the script for the first time. Yeah.
I had a question about Bessie and her casting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm looking like she's a Holocaust survivor from Odessa, and so there's a big age difference between them two. Like, she's 81 and she's 95.
I think she's 84.
84, okay,
Yeah.
84, so or something.
Yeah.
So how was that? Did she come with a project, or was it